Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Reverend Theresa Fieberts, and I'm just thrilled that you're here with me. Welcome to my living room, and thank you for inviting me into yours. We've got a beautiful morning planned, just a beautiful morning. We've been doing this love streaming now for several months, 4 months, maybe more. I don't know. I stopped counting at some point, but I'm thrilled that we continue to grow community this way and in other ways, and it feels really good to be with you every Sunday morning. And one of the things that you can do to help us is share this with your friends. Just share the link, invite them now to join in. Like I said, we have a really beautiful morning planned. We have three dynamic women with us, music and the message, and it's certain to uplift and inspire you. I am certain that it will. That's our intention every week, really, to open hearts and minds to a greater understanding, a greater realization, a greater experience of this thing called life. This is a practical teaching. We offer practical spiritual tools to be able to transform your life in ways that don't require you to go sit like a monk at the top of a mountain for months on end, but to be in life, living your daily life and find ways that inspire and uplift you. That's what this teaching is about, to see through the conditions, into the condition, and find spirit there. And I'm glad you're on the journey with me. I really am. This is a global movement. We have centers all over the world. And this month, they've all been talking about freedom. And I want to just remind you, I said this last week, and I want to do it again. What the mission of the Centers for Spiritual Living, the purpose, the mission, and the vision. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Our vision is a world that works for everyone. And our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. That's all. Nothing less than personal and global transformation. We're doing it, all the time. Life is evolving. It is ever evolving. It is not static. It is and each one of us are part of life. We're growing all the time. We're expanding our understanding around this thing called life as a teaching, as a philosophy, and individually we do that as well. And so that kind of spirituality is has no limit. It's expansive. It is so incredibly expansive. And each and every one of us, when we wake up to that truth about life, we get to participate at a really conscious level, at a rate that can speed things up, right? When we're aware that we're creating our experience and that for everyone else around us. That's unchained spirituality. And that's what we've been about all month long. But you know what? That's what we're going to continue to be about, is unchained spirituality. So again, I said we have a special morning planned for you. We have two of my really dear friends. Oh my goodness. Bobby, hand me the magazine, please. Right in front of you, sweetie. There you go. Oh, look at this. I forgot. I wanted to look. So this is the Science Mind magazine this month. And on the cover here are my good friends, Donna and Norma, and they're going to be with us. So I'm very excited. They were in Bobby's practitioner class. So I had them in class with us for 2 years. Of course, the whole program is much longer than that, but the practitioner piece is 2 years, and they were here with us in training. And it's very exciting. Donna is a registered nurse, and Norma is a massage therapist, and they've been assisting doctors. And well, Norma has been assisting doctors and nurses through massage, those that are on the front line, and Donna's been there working with them. And so we're going to hear about that this morning. And I hope that you got a chance to read the article in the magazine too. And again, they're both licensed practitioners. So Let's take this idea this morning that we are eternal beings, infinite in our resources and our competencies and our abilities because we're fueled by this unlimited source and substance that some call God. We can call it spirit, energy, essence, beauty, love, any number of words that bring us into that feeling of awe. You know, the thing we feel when we're out in nature, when we're at the beach, when we watch a sunset, when we're climbing a mountain. That, that, that presence, that power, that beauty is right here, right now. Right here, right now, where I am, right where each one of us reside. It is within us. It is all around us. It is the very essence, substance, nature of life itself. There's only one thing ever happening. It's this thing called life. And I lean in this morning. I lean in and I open up. I surrender myself freely and fully to this presence, letting go of all fears, all worries, all doubts, my to-do list. And I simply bask in this presence. And in this presence, in its allness, in its fullness, I recognize that it is what I am. I am what it is. I am made of this God stuff. This energy, its essence is what moves me, motivates me, animates me. And so I allow it to have its way with me this morning and every day, to be its willing portal, its vessel, its vehicle for this thing called life. I recognize this urge within me to grow and experience and expand and love and live is God itself. I recognize it's everywhere present. I claim its goodness. I know it's here now. Join me in recognizing that truth by saying, and so it is. Now, our other guest this morning, you're probably familiar with. It's Emily Ross. Emily is one of our local singer-songwriters, just a beautiful young woman, and I'm so delighted that she's here with us this morning. Emily Ross.
Hi. Thank you. You're beautiful too. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this morning. Thank you so much for having me here today. Usually I play songs that I wrote, but this morning I'm going to play a couple covers for you. So this first one is a song by Desiree with the message that love will save the day. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Help what your mother said. Read the books your father read. Try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you, others take a different view. My, oh my, you gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wise, you gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger, you gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind. You can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, it won't stop if you try to. The best part is danger staring you in the face. Oh, yeah. Remember, listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my, you gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. All I know is love will save the day. All I know, love will save the day.
All right. Thank you, Emily. Oh, I love those sparkly little lights behind you. I'm Bob Fiebert. I have your reading today, and as Theresa showed you earlier, it comes out of the Science of Mind magazine. And this reading is literally from the front page story that Donna and Norma are in. So, first of all, here's a quote from Ernest Holmes. When prayer removes distrust and doubt and enters the field of mental clarity, it becomes faith. And from the article, Donna Davis' day begins at 5 p.m. in a midtown Manhattan hotel room. After she wakes up, her wife, Norma Anderson, makes her soup or a sandwich as Davis dresses and gets ready for work. The couple does affirmative prayers about themselves, their coworkers, and their patients. Just before 6:15 p.m., Davis heads to the hotel lobby to catch the bus for the half-hour ride to the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in the United States, Elmhurst Hospital in Queens. There she will work a 12-hour shift as the registered nurse in charge of organizing the staff who will care for the hospital's COVID-19 patients. At 8 a.m., she will be back at the hotel, ready to sleep all day and repeat the process that evening. Davis and Anderson are Science of Mind practitioners at the Ocala Church for Spiritual Living in Florida. When Davis learned about the call for nurses to serve in New York City hospitals during the new coronavirus crisis, she responded. Anderson, a massage therapist, originally went along to help her wife, but once there, she discovered many more nurses she could serve. Now, more about them on page 17. Davis was surprised shortly after she started working in New York City on March 22nd. I thought I was going to be with patients, and I thought I was just going to be a nurse, she said. Instead, she found herself working as a team leader, where she discovered that her role as a practitioner was equally as important as her medical skills. And this is so interesting. On a personal note, I was in practitioner classes with Donna and Norma, And Donna's final project, that's exactly what she said she wanted to do. She wanted to be able to bring these skills to other nurses and other healthcare practitioners. That's exactly where she went. Okay, and there's an affirmation from Donna and Norma. The love and light of the divine surrounds us in all we say and do. Knowing this makes all our dreams come true. And now another song from Emily.
That's beautiful. Well, so my next cover, and this is really fun because I learned that today was going to be about Your Phoenix is Rising, and then Donna and Norma's Day Spa, Your Phoenix is Rising, and one of my good friends, Sarah Fleener, she's a local singer-songwriter. She wrote a song called A Girl Named Phoenix, and one of her lyrics is Your Phoenix Rises Again. And so I wanted to sing this song today. So this is a song by my friend, Sarah Fleener. She was raised in a gypsy band, long blonde hair, doing all that a baby can. But the little she shared with others who always seemed to play so rough, that little girl, she had to get so tough. More than the boys could take, independent music, noise she made. Her guitar never went to waste. Circling around her world, wolf in disguise, he stole years from her. Yes, I'm a gypsy girl. There's no love when you're sleeping. Yes, I'm a gypsy girl. It's too cold for breathing. Phoenix rises again. Phoenix rises. She's a beauty with a painted face, that's by her side from place to place. She follows as her dreams give chase. Searching for a place to rest, hoping sit still with so much to do. Yes, I'm a gypsy girl. There's no love where you're sleeping. Yes, I'm a gypsy girl. The air is too cold for breathing. Phoenix rises again. Phoenix rises again.
Oh, thank you, Emily. What a beautiful song choice. I'm just always so amazed at how we don't orchestrate any of this and how I had to run and get tissues because I started to cry. Very beautiful. Thank you. Um, so you've heard a little bit already now about Donna and Norma. And from their time with me, when we were intensely doing this study, weekly, I've just seen so much blossoming in their lives. It's truly amazing. And as Bobby said, we heard Donna make this declaration in front of 8 of us that she wanted to be able to use the science mind principles that she was learning, her practitioner skills that she was honing to help nurses. And that, of course, is what she was doing in New York. And their business, Your Phoenix is Rising, they've had since 2016, I think. And it started as supporting women with dating issues, like mentoring women. And it's such a place to not only support other people now, but really help people transform their lives. But another piece that they both talked about really wanting to do was travel. And, we might think that traveling to go help in a pandemic isn't travel, but it is travel. And so I think we're going to just touch upon that. I'm really interested this morning um, in what prayers and decisions came in for Donna and Norma in making these choices and decisions. They left Ocala and went to New York City at the height of the pandemic there. And while they were there, I'm going to just give you a little background. While they were there, Donna's mother and Norma's sister both died. I believe that was, they were like a week apart, weren't they?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so close. And they were gone. They were out of town. They couldn't be with them. They couldn't be with their family. And I'm interested in the strength that kept you all going. Even they were posting inspirational, positive messages, doing videos and whatnot during this whole time. And now they're down in Key West. And this really does demonstrate at such a deep, 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 amazing level the commitment to rising up. That Phoenix is rising, that rising up no matter what. And my thought for this morning is that many of us are stuck in bed, stuck, depressed, stuck on the couch, stuck in front of our computers, stuck on social media, stuck in our anger, stuck in our fear. We're scared of the virus. We're saddened by the violence and our Black, Indigenous, people of color, their experiences, the unemployment and financial insecurities. And I want to know what Donna and Norma have to say. And it looks like we just lost them on our feed. There they are. Great. So they maybe missed everything I just said, but I want to know. Welcome, Donna and Norma. I want to know, where do you want to start with all this that I've laid out here?
Well, we're not sure what you laid out because as you would have it, the internet here at the hotel is not the greatest.
Okay. Okay.
But I did hear you mentioned our family that passed while we were in New York, and it was it was hard. We had a long conversations with Cindy of our spiritual center. She helped us through a lot of it. Yeah. It was, do you go home? Do you stay? You know, what is ours to do? And that's where we had to rely on our spiritual principles to know what not just best for us, but everyone involved. And considering where we were coming from, it just wasn't best for us to go back to Ocala.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so let's back up just a moment. What led you all to go to New York? Can you just talk for a moment about that? The prayers, the decisions, how did you make that? How did you make that decision?
First of all, we had to even start the conversation, we had said that we needed to get an investor because our business needed an investor. And we thought, oh, we're going to get an investor. We're going to get an investor. And when that wasn't working out, I said, okay, we need to go and rely on who we know is the best investor. You can't get a better investor than Spirit. You can't. So I said to Norma, I said, okay, we're looking at this in the wrong way. So we did treatment about it and we said, we just know it's going to flow. And however it shows up, it shows up. And then bam, this opportunity showed up to go to New York. And we're like, okay, we have an opportunity here to be able to invest in ourselves, but in the same token, help others. So then I said to Norma, I said, listen, the kids are grown. Mom's safe where she is. We should go and help. However that shows up, and everybody thought we were out of our minds. Why would you do that?
And the nurses were saying, I wouldn't for $1 million
$1 million
go do that.
Don't do it, don't do it. You might never come back. And I thought, and if we don't, we don't. And it's okay. Everybody's okay. And that was when we decided that we were going to do it, because I said, people are sick. They need help. We got to do it. And then she said, well, I'm coming to make sure that you're okay. And, because I have some challenges with my back from time to time. And she came as support staff is what we started calling her. She's support staff. And that's how Norma came along. And then that's how the whole thing started to roll. And I remember when we were in the airport and we said, all right, what is ours to do? How are we going to, if we start to get ill, how are we going to combat this thing? So we came loaded up with vitamins, all kinds of stuff, and a plan if I get sick. And then we said, no, we just know that our bodies will be just fine and we'll be okay. And that's what we did.
Oh, that's incredible trust, incredible faith. And it sounds like to me that the vision, so the vision for your business, and you needed the investor. I love that. Make Spirit your investor. I've made Spirit my marketing manager from time to time and that kind of thing. I love it. But the fear couldn't get in the way, right? That's what you're saying. The fears couldn't stop you. You saw opportunity. And yes.
So that's the thing. The fear is there. It's always there. And the doubt is always there. But you have to say, okay, but the truth is also there. And just step back into the truth every time. Theresa, I remember you saying to me all the time, it's like, always bring it back to principle. Every time it starts to come up, the chatter happens, we go, oh, what's the principle? Oh, yeah. And then there you have it.
Right. Yeah. The spiritual path doesn't mean we're not going to have problems. And so then that goes back then, Norma, to what you were saying. These were tremendous losses that you experienced. Your mother, your sister, Norma, who was like a mother to you, and Donna, your mother, who I had the opportunity of meeting. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have challenges on a spiritual path, but you have tools. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And it's really not so much the challenges. The minute you start to change the way you look at the challenge, it becomes an opportunity to use your tools.
Great. Yes. Say something else about that. Go a little deeper with that.
So when I was going through the deepness that was Mom's transformation and her being in hospice, I mean, she quickly went from, oh, she's getting better and rehabbing to, I got the phone call from the nurse that said, oh, if it was my mom, I would want to know, is what she said. Your mother is not doing well. She hasn't eaten in 2 days. She's not really responding. And I was like, what? And she is in a nursing home. So I could not just hop on a plane and come home because I would have to quarantine for at least 2 weeks.
Right.
And I thought, she might not be here in 2 weeks. And I remember that the time when I was like, okay, so this is something that you cannot control. Just there's nothing you can do about it. And it would be incredibly unfair for me to bring myself into a space where all these other older people are and potentially make them all sick. And I thought, okay, I could be jealous and self-serving and just go because I want to the point where I said, maybe they can just wheel her bed outside to the parking lot and then I can like see her then. But then if I infect her and then she infects everybody, it was this whole battling back and forth about it. And then I said, okay, here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity to use the tools. And then we had the discussion with Cindy. And as we were talking and talking, because I bought, Theresa, when I tell you, I bought the plane ticket to come home. Bought the ticket, was ready to come, spent the $800 and something dollars. And then when we called and tried to, check into the flight, I was like, why can't I check in? I called the airline. They said, oh, your ticket was canceled. Canceled by who? Why is the ticket canceled? So we rebooked the ticket, tried to check in again, did check in. Then I tried to check in Norma, that called again. Why is this ticket canceled? And then I said, okay, it get canceled twice by somebody.
Your investor.
By the investor, right? That's not a good use of your money. So then I said, okay, what am I missing here? And of course, I'm in the story, really deep in it. And I felt this pull because the nurse told me, Mom asked for me. And I felt this pull, Mom wants me, Mom wants me. And then I said to Norma, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I called Cindy. So that's why it's so great for mentors to have mentors. And I called Cindy and I said, okay, what are we going to do? And she said, let's do treatment. What is here for us to learn? And when she did treatment and we got into it and I cried and cried and cried. And then I said, wait a minute, Mom's calling me to meet her. She's calling me to meet her in the illness because she's really connected right now, really deeply in it right now. And I laid in the bed, and it was right before I went to work. I laid in the bed and I held the pillow and I pretended she was there. And I said, if there is no time and space, and if everything is God expressing, then I'm with her anyway. And that's what I did. And I laid and I held her and I spoke to her from my heart. And I told her that I was okay and the kids were okay and that I was happy and it was all right for her to go. Because she struggled for days, would not let go, would not eat nothing. And then I said to Norma, I said, I feel at peace. I got dressed, got on the bus, and I got the phone call that she transitioned. Wow. And I thought, principle. And it works every time.
That's beautiful. This investor in our lives, it's a guide, it's a shoulder, it's a heart, it's everything we need in that whatever moment we're in, right?
You just have to allow. Have to allow.
Have to allow it. Absolutely, just have to allow it. It's there, present all the time. That is one of the most incredible demonstrations of that, I think, that how you found peace in it and she transitioned right after. So it wasn't just your peace or her peace, it was the peace.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that transcends everything. The plane, the distance. Yeah, everything.
Whatever the obstacles are, it just melted away. And I know that we connected.
Yeah. Beautiful. So is there anything you want to say about being in New York? I know now you're in Key West. Anything that you'd like to specifically say about being the time you spent in New York and then when you came back to Ocala, anything around that?
I would like to say that no matter where you are and what you're doing, allow spirit to use you.
Mhm.
Because we went there with one thing in our mind as to what was ours to do. And spirit said, nope, this is what you're doing. And this is how you're going to help people. And Donna was on the bus giving people, what were you saying to them in the mornings? Their morning gratitudes and, just all kinds of inspirational things. And she didn't realize how much she was touching people, because when I would go to massage some of these same ladies, later they were, they're laying there and I talk to them about, how things are going and what they're going through and how they can handle things better. And they would tell me, more than one person would tell me, it's just so amazing how Donna helps us in the mornings when she's speaking to us. And one of the ladies said, I record her every day and I play it back and listen to her throughout my day.
And I had no clue about that. And I did have some pushback on it because not everybody was open.
Yeah.
To the message, and not everybody wanted to do gratitude. I mean, who wants to? When we stood up in the bus and I was like, okay, we're going to start with the announcements, but first, gratitude moment. I'm grateful for blah, blah, blah. And then I'd say, okay, what are we grateful for? And no one. It'd be like crickets. And I'm like, come on, somebody's grateful for something. And you could see the faces in the back and they would be like, will you please shut up? To the point where I called Cindy and I said, Cindy, I don't think they want the gratitudes anymore, because somebody texted me and said, can we just have silence on the bus today? And I
What
was
did
like,
you do?
I had silence on the bus. I said, okay, we're going to have silence on the bus. And I didn't do the gratitudes for like 3 days. And then in our chat group from the nurses, I got somebody sent a message that said, okay, can I just address something here? Where's our morning, our affirmations and our gratitude? What happened? Like, do you not like us anymore, Miss Donna? And I said, no, I thought you guys weren't into it, because nobody responded. And the one fellow was like, I need that to start my shift. Without it, I start my shift in a negative way and it just spirals out of control. I have to have the gratitude thing. So you got to go back to it. And I thought, oh, that's so nice. But I wasn't sure what to do, because so you have all this blend of people. Some believe in an energy, some believe in a God, some believe in nothing at all. Some are terrified to even get on the bus to go. Most are terrified. And then how do you think of gratitude in that moment?
And another thing too, there was a situation where Donna had an issue with the bus driver making a wrong turn. It actually got kind of dangerous. And the people that were the biggest Bible thumpers, I guess you would call them, they were the ones that reverted to fear the fastest. I mean, lost all of their, oh my God, and I love Jesus, and all of that was gone. Donna had to bring the whole bus back to principal through using principal, bringing them back to a point of safety mentally, while the bus driver got them safe physically.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what's funny? I never thought that it would happen to me like that. But when I was sitting at the front of the bus, the driver's trying to drive, we're on the highway. We could have been like ran off the highway at any moment. That's what everybody was like, oh my God,
They were
freaking
on
out.
a bridge.
We were on a bridge that the bus wasn't supposed to be on at all, because there was a big sign that says only cars. So here we are trying to get back from work, and all of us are exhausted, and the poor bus driver's shaking at the wheel because she had made this wrong turn. And I was like, just something dropped into me in that moment, and I said, oh, okay, take it back to principal. Right now, in this moment, where are we? We're on a bus, on a bridge that could potentially do this. But what if I just said, I'm covered in love and light, and whatever happens, I'm spirit expressing anyway. And if this is how I go out, then this is what happens. And then I said, oh, that's spirit expressing, holding the wheel. So I stood up and I said to everybody, remember, the energy that's coming from this bus is now being fueled into our driver. So the more that we push this energy at her, the more nervous she becomes, and she is the one in control of our lives. So try to breathe and remain calm. And then I sat next to the driver, just crouched down next to her, and I said, you have this. You have driven a bus for years. You can do this. I know you can. You're breathing. We're getting there. We're getting over this hump. Look at that. Look at. She's like, what are they doing? What are they doing back there? And I said, they're taking pictures of the beautiful scenery. What do you think they're doing? They're awesome. They're fabulous. We're nurses. We're great. And we get past, and we got off the bridge and got back, and she was like, thank you so much. And I said, I did nothing. You did this. You got us to safety, and I knew you could. So thank you. And it was that moment that I thought, that was the allness speaking. That was spirit speaking to spirit and recognizing. And that's where I was like, afterwards I cried. I was in a puddle in the room. So.
Right. Well, that is so the phoenix is rising, right? That is the rising of the energy of truth and love and presence, just being so present in the now moment that it doesn't matter what condition we're in. That's what I hear over and over and over with the two of you is that when we're in a condition, a situation, there's still truth. Well, you said it a minute ago, Donna, and that's such another. You're just like endless examples of how we can take this teaching into the practical day-to-day aspect of our lives. Just so love it. That was a great. That was a story I didn't know. That was wonderful. Let me look at my thinking here. So let's just see. We have the violence going on right now in our world. We have the unrest, the civil unrest. We have the anti-racism fervor rising. We have that rising, and the white supremacy issues rising. And I would love to hear what you thoughts you have around that too. In addition, we've touched on the virus. I mean, this is just such an incredible time in our lives, right? We have the virus, we have the economic implications of the output of the virus or resulting from the virus, and then we have all this unrest that's finally come to a head. It's always been here, unfortunately, but it's come to a head. So, what do you see there?
Well, for me, growing up as a Black female in the South, who is now gay, I guess I've always been, I just didn't acknowledge that earlier, but I'm basically everything that everyone's fighting against right now. And I guess I have to just learn to distance myself from all the negativity that's out there without being separate from it, if that's possible. It's there, but I don't have to immerse myself or dive into it or buy into it even, because I am who I think I am, not who you think I am.
I love it. I love it. I am who I think I am. That was in the article that I read. I forgot to say that. I think I forgot to say. I'm so present with you guys right now. I think I maybe forgot to tell our listeners that the two of you were on the bill for the what was it called? World Co-Creator Convergence Day, that Marianne Williamson and Jean Houston were the featured speakers on, and the two of you were on that, as well as you were just featured in Embrace Magazine, which is North Central Florida's LGBTQ magazine. And that came out in there, Donna, where you had said it was up to you to decide how people would see you and how people would treat you.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was really a beautiful comment, again, for all of us, that there is this ability for all of us to rise. Go ahead.
Well, the thing of it is that I had not really experienced the whole supremacy thing. I mean, being from Jamaica, we don't really have that as much. I'm sure it was there in some way, but I was a teenager when I left. So as a child, I didn't really get a chance to see any of that. And then I came here and I found it curious that America was so divided into little pockets of people as opposed to just being American. When I really started getting with Norma and really living in the South and I remember the day when she said to me, don't go into the forest. You don't ever want to go into the forest because that's really dangerous. And I thought, why? Why? But now when I meet others, and I have had in my nursing career chances to meet people who look at the color of my skin and automatically something comes over them. Whatever pain is in their ancestry comes up. And so hateful things have been said to me as a nurse. I don't want that nurse because I just don't want those people touching me, or I don't trust them, or whatever the case may be. And I combat it in a way with just the humanity of my heart. And I come to them with a smile and I recognize the pain. And I know that their story needs to be heard. And I think that that's what it is. Right now, there's all this pain and everybody's trying to tell their story all at once. And when that is happening, nobody's listening. Everybody's shouting their story all at once. And when I'm faced with it, I step back and I say, wait. And again, back to principle, right? I think that's the person that's in the story and they don't understand who they are. And that's why when Norma says, what I think I am is what matters. And if I know I'm God expressing, and I know that I just happen to be a Black girl in the South, and that's part of my story, not who I am, then it changes. And then when I look at you and you're in your story, then I can have compassion. And the minute I can, even if I don't verbalize it, heart to heart, speak to you and say, yes, I recognize you. Yes, I get it. Tell me more about your story. It changes. They don't even know that's what you're doing. It shines through your eyes. It comes out in your smile. The same way you would sit at the bedside of someone who is about to transition and listen to their story. The presence that you have changes the way that they look at you and treat you.
And this too ties into Your Phoenix is Rising, our statement of rising from the ashes. And Donna touched on it when she said that, when you're holding space, just as in a relationship, when she's feeling vulnerable, it's my job to hold space for her. The same is true of the world as a human race. When this issue is happening for these people, others should learn to figure out how to hold space for them, not go through their stuff at the same time. And that's when you get all this upheaval and uprising. Hear me, then let me hear you. We can't all talk at the same time. We can't all be angry at the same time.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I could allow this to go on for hours and hours, but we can't do that. This is so lovely. I'm really overwhelmed with my love for you and my admiration of who you are and the work that you're doing in the world. I'm so grateful that you took this time out to be with us this morning. Donna probably needs to go to bed. And so thank you so very much. I think what we've covered this morning and what you have said so exemplifies for all of us that there is this eternal, endless flow of spirit within us, that we can call it our investor when we need to. We can call it our friend when we need to. We can call it our lover when we need to. But it's there for us. And I thank you so much for being there for America, for us at this time going through the pandemic, and all you're physically doing and being there for us spiritually as well. We are a better world because of the two of you. So thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Our pleasure.
I am a tad verklempt, I must say. Tad verklempt. We're gonna put it back over to Emily, before I do, I would just like to say, please, if you get a chance this afternoon to read that article in the Science Mind magazine, read the article that I posted on our Facebook page from Embrace magazine. Their story is so rich, even beyond what we've just shared. Okay, Emily.
All right. Wow. Thank you, Donna and Norma, for sharing your stories. So this is just a really intense moment for me right now because I wrote a song called Rise, and this song I wrote when my mom passed away 3 years ago. I'm gonna sing it. I'm not gonna cry through it, but it's just intense because she passed away 3 years ago, and I felt that same feeling of I have a choice I have to make, whether I stay in my bed or I get up and I rise. And this song's called Rise. All right, got it.
Once upon a dream of mine, I was by your side, rising from the ground where I lie. I am quite alright. As the earth gives birth, she will take them away, down to the ground, through the roots they will stay. But I will take you to the places you knew, somewhere you can have room. I wanna see you dancing wild, spread across the sky, one with the sunlight. Feel you moving by me as I look out to see where we used to be. As you come up through me in the darkness, you're my unrest, and your strength, it burns like fire. I'm radiated, I'm what you created, 'cause once upon this year I was frozen, stuck inside my walls, afraid to lose it all. Now I don't care what he's taking. Maybe in my dreams, melt away these seams with your fire. With your fire. dream of mine. I was by your side, rising from the ground where I lie. I am quite alright.
Emily, thank you so much for sharing yourself with us in that way. Beautiful song, beautiful sharing. Thank you. Once again, I feel I want to just reiterate that there is a depth to us, a strength with a capital S. There's that something within each one of us that has brought us here, that before we were even born, we were called into being to be here at this time for these purposes. And we find them out along the way, I believe. And I do believe that each one of us has that ability to rise up within whatever circumstance we find ourselves in. And these were 3 beautiful examples of that this morning. And I know that you too have risen above conditions in the past, and you will now, and you will continue to do so. We all will. And when we do it in spiritual community, there's nothing like it, really, to offer that kind of support to one another. Donna and Norma kept talking about Cindy. That's my dear friend, Reverend Cindy Grimes, that you have met on occasion at our center, and you've certainly heard me speak about her. And that is the kind of connectivity that we have the ability to create and cultivate in our lives. And so let's do that. And I want to just say that your giving to this ministry, your financial support of this ministry is part of how we continue to do that. Come on in here, Bobby. It's part of how we continue to do that. Not just in Sarasota, but truly we are across the globe now that we're love streaming this every Sunday morning. So Evan is posting for us the 4 different ways of giving. If you're watching us on YouTube, that information is also available in the description. And so again, we appreciate you sharing your good with us to keep us able to continue to do this. And Evan's also going to post the affirmation, the affirmative statement on abundance written by Ernest Holmes. We've been reading this now for a couple months, and I really have grown to love it so much. I encourage you to read it along with us, read it out loud with the emphasis on knowing that this is already your truth, that you may not be experiencing it, but it is the truth within. Remember Donna saying we always go back to principle. This is a spiritual truth that we live in an abundant universe. Good and more good is mine.
An ever-increasing good is mine.
There is no limit to the good which is mine.
Everywhere I go, I see this good, I feel it, I experience it.
It crowds itself against me, flows through me, and expresses itself in me, and multiplies itself around me.
I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you. I love that. I want to just do a couple announcements here. We have certificated classes that are going on. We started one last week, and I want to let you know that it's not too late. Rev G has said that if you want to jump in on this second week, it's a 10-week course. The first week there wasn't any pre-assignment, so you could easily catch up with them should you decide to jump into the class. These certificated classes are really a path to practitioner training, becoming a licensed practitioner, as Donna and Norma and Bobby are, even ministry. They also can be standalone, simply enrichment, spiritual enrichment classes. This first one, the roots that I'm talking about, that Rev G, Reverend Emile Gavreau, is teaching, is a historical look at the people that inspired Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching. And so we look at Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was the philosophical influence, Thomas Troward, the theoretical influence, and Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was our mystic. And again, it's a 10-week course. It's on Wednesdays. There's a day and an evening time. So let us know if you're interested in that. And then Sunday, August 2nd, I will begin in the afternoon. I'm thinking 2 to 4:30, but I can be a little flexible with that if there's a consensus that we want it at a different time. A visioning class. And visioning is a practice developed by Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Many of you know his name from Agape International in LA. And it is a meditative, experiential process of inviting that wisdom, as Donna and Norma talked about the investor, and needing that investor. Well, we want the advice of our guide, and that's available to us at all times. And so that's what visioning is about, and that's an 8-week journey. These classes work out to be about $30 a week. If that is a challenge for you and you are not signing up for a class because of the cost, please hear me. We really want people to have the opportunity to take these classes, to hone these skills, to have a greater experience of spirit in your everyday life. And so we've set up a scholarship fund. We're asking for people to donate to the scholarship fund, but we're also asking people to be recipients of that scholarship fund. So please do talk with us. You can email me. If you're on our email list, then you're seeing that information out there on a weekly basis. If you're not on our email list, do so. You can go to our website at cslculturalcoast.org and scroll down to the bottom and sign up for the newsletter. And we'll make sure that you have all the information that you need to have in order to stay in touch. Not only do we have classes on Thursday afternoons, we have a fabulous 1-hour meditation treat led by Julie Birch, who's also one of our licensed practitioners. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful for beginners and experienced meditators. The other thing that I want to share with you quickly, oh, I see I went over time this morning. Wow. Sorry about that. I just realized it. We're doing a directory and also a networking opportunities through the directory, and also we'll do a Zoom networking thing. The directory is going to be online and print. And so we're asking you to let us know if you'd like to be included in that, to send us your information. That is going out also on an email this week for a little more details. And with that, I'm going to get out of the way so Bobby can close, and I'm going to post our Zoom link. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Mwah. Love you. Love you. Emily, Donna, Norma, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us this morning.
Yeah, let me just add, if you want your life to change in a good way, take these classes. Take one of these classes. They're amazing. So take the classes. If you need prayer support, if you would like prayer support for anything, whatever it is that's going on with you, please email prayer@cslculturalcoast.org. Prayer@cslculturalcoast.org. Let's close with Let It Shine. There's a light at the center of everyone. It can light up the world just like the sun. There's a flame within us that can light our way. It can burn away the darkness of a troubled day. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Whenever you see darkness, you've got to know that the light is within you. Everywhere you go, whatever you are facing, whatever's on your mind, you can help illuminate it. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine, everybody.